So one of the great benefits of being on YouTube has been the opportunity to meet so many wonderful people. I'm talking about viewers and I'm talking about other creators. One of the creators I've become quite friendly with is Grandma Sandy. I'm going to link to her channel below. So she came up with this wonderful collaboration, Alice in Wonderland. And one of the challenges was to decorate a lantern. So after listening to the book and after reading a little bit about the background of the book and the people in it, I decided to do English country garden gazebo. Alice, the original Alice, came from a very wealthy family, so she would have had a beautiful garden at her home. And when she goes into Wonderland, she also sees a beautiful garden beyond the garden gate that she's trying to get into while she changes sizes. The first consideration was color. When I think about English country gardens, I think about everything being pastel and very soft. Pale blues, pale pinks, whites, that sort of thing. So that's where my journey starts. I had this old lantern that the cats had knocked over so many times. The only piece that was intact was in the door. And so I washed it up and spray painted it white, and that was my base. Down at the bottom of the mountain, there's a dump with a recycled items store attached to it called Recycle Town. So I like to stop there. You never know what you're going to find. So while I was there, I picked up a couple of these floral picks in pink and in white, and this big saucer that I thought I would use for my plants on the porch. Well, we were partway there. I had ordered some white bunnies from Amazon a few weeks earlier in anticipation of this challenge, and the only other things I needed were some foam, which I got at Walmart, and one pick with some greenery on it. So first order of business was to spray paint this lantern, which was not nearly as easy as you would think. I couldn't even get the can open. I guess you have to press and turn. It's a whole other story. But I finally got it done, brought it in, and I got started. One of the picks were these tiny roses that you would use on a trellis. So that was the first thing I put on. I wired it in place over the entrance. I remembered I had this cute little mirror from Morocco that someone had brought me as a gift. So it fit in the back perfectly, and I wired it into place. I cut up some of that foam and put a piece of foam on each side of the lantern and started cutting up those picks and sticking in all the flowers. I love the way the flowers and the greenery looked around the side of the lantern, but I did not like the look of those foam. So I rummaged around and found a wide piece of pale pink ribbon and just wrapped it around the whole thing and tied it in the back. I wanted to use that green saucer in some way. I didn't know how, so I thought I would just flip it over and use it as a riser. And I found some doilies from Dollar Tree that I'd purchased to use in tea parties with my grandchildren, and one of them fit perfectly. I had a tea light, stuck it in there, looked great, and the last touch was the white rabbit. So in addition to listening to Alice in Wonderland on audio, I've done some research into elements of Alice in Wonderland. It's a very multi-layered book there, very multi-layered. So I got interested in the whole concept of the white rabbit, and Alice literally goes down the rabbit hole following him to go to Alice in Wonderland. And nothing that Lewis Carroll did in this book is random. The more I look into it, the more I realize the significance of every single line in there. It's really quite incredible. So I thought I would talk about the white rabbit for a second and why perhaps he chose the white rabbit. So I got my reference for this is the Spirit Animal Directory, 100 Spirit Animals for Inner Enlightenment by Dawn Bauman Brunk. So here's what she has to say about the rabbit. Rabbit is lucky, associated with longevity, happiness, fertility, and abundance. Rabbit is sometimes portrayed as a trickster and messenger to the moon, also linked with fairies and nature spirits. Rabbit is a clever guide who knows how to move between worlds and enter other dimensional realities. Seems to suit the white rabbit to a T, doesn't it? I hope you've enjoyed this project as much as I have, and thank you so much for watching.